This KISD Coaches Show is supported by Coach Henderson Sports Photography, Modern Appliance, Clean Veterinary Clinic, Denali Roofing, Seashells Visuals, and Cloud Real Estate. Toby Foreman, head coach of the Shoemaker Gray Wolves. That's what it says right here on your desk, brother, and you're doing a great job. Let me tell you that right off the bat.
Yeah, it took me a long time to get that nameplate made, by the way, but I do appreciate that. But the kids are doing a great job, and the assistant coaches are doing an outstanding job. So, we look forward to the contest this week, and even though it's going to be a short week now because of the weather, we are definitely prepared.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. Let's go back to last week. Clean Kangaroos. Great ball game.
Yeah, it was. It was tied 7-7.5. Just like I told you, it's going to be a tight game, just like the Ellison game. It's a rivalry game, crosstown rivalry, and Coach Sadler has really done a good job. I mean, their defense did a great job against us and put us in some uncomfortable situations. We did have some missed opportunities, I feel like, but they forced some of those missed opportunities, starting with number 11, Barnwell, who is a grown dude. I mean, he played lights out. I was very impressed with him. On film, he looked good, and I gave him some stars on our poster board. But, man, I didn't do him any justice because he's way better than I thought, and he's one of the better players in the district.
He's all over the place, wasn't he?
Yeah, you can ask our offensive line. He gave us problems all night. I'm glad he's a senior. I'll be sending him a graduation present. But I told him after the game, brother, in the second half, I was running away from you, and I was just waiting to see where he lined up, and I was going opposite, But that's what we had to do. I mean, he was disruptive, and we tried to double him some, and they were moving him around. So again, kudos to Coach Sadler because they had their defense prepared and they had their team prepared.
Well, yeah, short little rest, and then you get ready. You start watching film first thing on Saturday morning, getting ready for this last ball game of the season to finish out the season on a high note and hopefully get that playoff spot. Coach, talk about your opponent tonight.
Yeah, our opponent is Granbury, the Granbury Pirates, and they are led by number 27, Jaden Rogers, who also he's a running back. His brother also plays running back, Tyler Rogers. So I don't know if they're twins or what, but they're both juniors. And Jaden is actually a second or third leading rusher in the district. So he's got a lot of yards. He's somebody you got to keep an eye on. They have a very big O&D line. Not a lot of speed, but what they do is they do a lot of good misdirection things that are tough on offense, and defensively they'll rally to the ball well. And so you've got to do a good job of blocking and running till the whistle blows.
So just all the way around, pretty good team. Just had some tough games this season. Then.
Yeah, they start off I think 4-1, and they kind of like Killeen. They hit a rough little streak in the schedule, and they've lost 3 or 4 in a row. So we want to make sure we keep that streak going, and finish our season on a high note. But kudos to their head coach. Coach Sheezy is his name, and he allowed us to play this game on Thursday and avoid the weather, because if we'd have drove up there Friday and the weather was bad, then you got to turn right around, drive back home, then drive back on Saturday. It's just not good what you want with an opportunity going in the playoffs.
Well, Texas, it could be sunshiny on Friday after you make all these decisions.
No doubt.
But it's better be safe than sorry. But also Harker Heights moved their game, and I watched TV last night. It looks like about half the state move their games to Thursday night to avoid that Friday weather that's coming in.
Which, in reality, if you're a playoff team, you kind of want to play your game on Thursday, that last week of the regular season, because you get an extra day prepared and rest for your opponent for that first round matchup, which we expect to be in the playoffs Thursday night at 10, whatever time we're done playing. And that's what the expectation is every year. We had a down year last year where we had a little streak going before that, 2 years in a row, and then last year we ended our season on a bad note and didn't make it. But now it looks like we're back on track, right where we should be, which is back in the UIL state playoff.
And then you have to figure out on Friday where you're going to go scout and see if they're even playing or not, right?
Yeah, no, exactly. That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Yeah, so a lot of planning going to be going on. But definitely your crowd going to travel up to the game. You've got a great crowd this year, man.
We really have. And I will say this. Last night I was in Hearn, or earlier this week I was in Hearn at the girls' first ever playoff volleyball game. And it was we had way more people than the Montgomery school had. And so kudos to our fans, our parents, our staff. This really has been a good year. I believe we may be the only Clean ISD school that had both football and volleyball in the playoffs. And we also sent a member of our cross-country team in state. So a lot of good things happening right now at Shoemaker athletically, but also academically. And I would be remiss if I didn't bring this up. In football right now, we have 208 student athletes. 202 of them are eligible. And that says a lot about the academics of our school and our principal and our admin and our staff and our parents and our kids, because we've all worked together to achieve a common goal. Of course, we want to have 100%, but right now we're sitting at 98% pass, and that's a big deal. That really is a big deal.
I'll tell you what, when Finley, who is your cross-country girl, is going to state, when she finishes up, I'm ready to move her into the I-14 sports because I had her on the air at Raising Cane's on Tuesday night, reading sponsors, great personality, and the fact that she has run at so many different levels and able to compete and compete well at different levels at the lower classifications and up to where she is now in 5A. And she was just great to talk to. It was wonderful. And you're of course, as they call him, Wham.
Coach Wham.
Coach Wham was out too, so good job.
Coach Wham. Now, the only bad thing about Coach Wham is he's a Saints fan, so we forgive him for that, but he's from New Orleans, and he brings that little New Orleans seasoning here to Texas, but it's all about the Dallas Cowboys around here, my friend. That's what it is. But, yeah, now, I will tell you this. My backup plan those first 2 years I was here and we were struggling was to apply for a job with you at I-14 Sports if this didn't work out. So, I guess, Finley, she can have the upper hand on that deal. Now we're winning.
She's good.
So I don't have to worry about that. But, no, she is. She has a great personality, and she has a great work ethic, and she's a really good runner. She's got some great lungs. Yeah. She's a really good runner.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. Well, going to be a tough game for you tonight because it's the last game of the regular season, and it's always a really good game, and it's one where you got to win to get into the playoffs where you want to be.
Yeah, and, they have seniors that – they don't have many, but they have seniors that are resilient, and they don't want their last game in front of the home crowd or anywhere to be a loss. And so I expect, a lot of fireworks early in that game from them, and then, I do expect our defense to step up and kind of put out the flame, and then offense take over. That's what my expectations are. But you never know how these things are going to go. That ball bounce is funny sometimes, and we've got to do our job on offense, defense, and special teams, and as coaches.
All right, now I won't wear a red shirt anymore. All right.
I do appreciate that. I know Jerry Edwards wants that, but I would ask when you come over here, you got some navy or some gray on. But thank you so much this year, Dan. I know this won't be our last show, but you've been very supportive to all the programs, and we appreciate everything you do. And I will end on, as always, go Gray Wolves.